that is crazy.
How in the world do you do that?
I spent the last 6 months working from home, so today I want to talk about this, my YouTube live streaming studio setup. Let's get into it.
Logging into system.
All right, this is my 2020 live streaming studio setup. I'm gonna break it down piece by piece for you so you can get an idea of everything I am using here in this room. It's gone through a lot of evolution over the past 6 months since they shut us down and I moved all of my work online. It started kind of very sterile with this desk just in front of my bookshelves. Then over time I added some lights to kind of freshen it up, give it a different look. Eventually I moved the desk against the wall, hung some curtains, and finally arrived at this setup, which is my current and my most favorite of all of them. So a couple quick caveats before we get into a breakdown of everything that goes here. Number one, this was designed for doing my shows. So there are some choices I made here that may not work for you, they may not fit your general aesthetic, but I still think there's some useful ideas here for you. I just want you to know I'm coming to this from an entertainer's perspective where I am performing a show on Zoom, which is why I set it up this way. And number two, I'm going to give a general breakdown and describe everything I'm using, and I plan on making individual videos for each piece of gear that goes into it. But for now, just general overview so you can see everything I'm using here. I'll link everything down below and I'll come back to this video over time and add cards and links in the description for each individual video that I plan on coming out. So let's just do a quick general overview of everything I have here. First off, I have an iMac monitor right off to the side. Additionally, I have my MacBook in front of me. I'll log into Zoom on my MacBook as well. The cameras I'm using, there's one in front of me here and there's one right up here for a top-down shot. As far as lighting goes, I've got one light right up here to my left and two lights on the floor blasting that blue color up onto the curtains. These are just IKEA curtains, very inexpensive, mounted up with some Varipoles. As far as audio goes, I'm using a lavalier right here, which is running straight through this camera that you're watching on me right now. So I think that is everything that goes into this. Let's break down each component individually, starting with the lighting. The lights I'm using are the GVM LED RGB 800D 3-light kit. That is a mouthful, but it is a fantastic set of lights. They can do color, they can do effects, they can do different ranges of temperature, and it all works through a phone app if you need it to, although it's just as easy to control it off the back of the light itself. You can run it off a power cord, you can run it off a battery if you need more portability. I can't say enough good things about these lights. For $350, I don't think you can really beat them. I'm guessing if you're gonna do talking head or maybe just Twitch streaming or something like that, you'll probably want more even light. So you should probably move one of these lights up over here and create even light across your entire face, just so you have that kind of nice lighting. It's not distracting for whatever you're trying to do. Either way, I highly recommend these lights. I'll link them down below. Let's talk audio. I didn't want to use the standard podcaster look setup for my live stream. That's the mic off the desk or the boom arm coming in with the microphone. I just didn't want to do that. I didn't want anything between me and the viewers. So instead I opted for this. This is the Rode Wireless Go and the Rode Lavalier Go. Together, these are really knocking out of the park for me. And since I wear black like this, you can barely see this lav here. It blends in very nicely. I like this aesthetic. And like I said, there's nothing separating me from the viewer. The Rode Wireless Go is very easy to use. There's hundreds of videos about it on YouTube. I'll be making one shortly with my experience, but essentially it's a very tiny microphone system. One clips to you or your subject, the other one to your camera, just like a standard shotgun microphone. And then they're able to communicate to each other and you record that sound directly into the camera. So I think together these two sound pretty great. In fact, this is me talking with the Rode wireless system. And this is me talking with just the built-in microphone on my computer. So I think this is a great microphone to have, whether you're performing virtually or live, doing live streams, or maybe stage shows like I do in normal times. It's fantastic, so easy to use, and I think it sounds great. If you have a nice camera like a DSLR or a camcorder, I would suggest using that for your live stream. It's pretty easy to do. Put it on a tripod, Figure out how to make your HDMI output clean, which means no graphics, no icons on the screen. It's just the picture that you want to be seen streamed to whatever platform you're using. The camera I'm using here is a Canon camcorder, a Vixia HFG 30, and then I have a top-down camera above me, which is a Vixia HF R800. It's tiny, super easy to use, and I think the quality is pretty good for what I'm doing. I'm just shooting top down onto my desk. It's very basic and fantastic, and it gets the job done. Okay, say you have your DSLR or camcorder on a tripod. It's at eye level, you're ready to go. Now you need to connect it to a computer. To do that, you're gonna need a capture card. This is the Magewell USB Capture HDMI. You'll want this because you run HDMI into one end, USB out to the computer on the other side, and your computer just instantly knows, sees it there. You can toggle and select that camera in Zoom, in Twitch, YouTube Live, QuickTime, whatever you're using. Very important to know that that capture card only works for one camera. And now that I've expanded the show into multiple camera angles, you need something a little different, which is where a switcher comes into play. This is what I'm currently using, which is the Blackmagic ATEM Mini. Fantastic piece of gear. In fact, I think this is my favorite thing I've picked up during all of quarantine because it just has so many options and it's so fun to use. You really feel like you're in like a tech booth at a show or something and you're running all the stuff behind the scenes. Essentially, the ATEM Mini lets you toggle between different camera angles, different microphones if you have those. You can do various transitions, picture in picture, and even fade to black. Not only is it a switcher between your camera angles, but it is also one giant capture card, meaning that you just run USB into your computer from the ATEM Mini, and your computer recognizes the Blackmagic ATEM Mini as a camera. So when you're switching in between, it's just staying on that same feed from that single USB, but swapping between your various camera angles. So during my show, when I go from 1, which is the camera in front of me, to 2, and then back to 1, super handy. And I can continue to do that all show. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, as many times as I want. It's super durable, it's portable, it packs so small, but it gets so much done. This is what I'm currently using. If you got one camera though, this is the way to go. Either way, you're gonna need some kind of capture card so you can get that professional camera into your computer. So there you have it. That is my live stream setup for 2020, for the pandemic, made out of my time here in quarantine. I rather like it. I think it's pretty good. I hope you learned something from it, or maybe got inspired to refresh your own. I've had plenty of time this summer to do it and been learning quite a lot, but I'm continuing to learn. So if you have any advice or tips or upgrades, please let me know down in the comments. In the meantime, guys, stay safe. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.